Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm on my knees at the moment. I don't have my office, so I'm sitting on my bed, and it's hurting my knees really bad right now. And I'm trying to like kind of control myself, and I'm not falling down. This is what happens when you live in a fucking trailer. And I know, it's an Asian person living in a trailer. Wow, amazing. But but anyways, the topic for today that I wanted to talk about is being black enough or I mean, I'm sorry, acting black or acting Asian. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because it gets me fired up. When I was growing up, um, I was told by other Cambodians that I wanted to act white. I was called a Twinkie. So if you guys don't know what that is, it's a term against Asians that want to be white. I never wanted to be white, but it's you're yellow in the outside, but you're white in the inside. So that's what I've been called all my life, and I'm kind of used to it at that point. And I never really understood why that is, because we live in America. I assimilated into the culture, the American culture, but I never wanted to be white per se. I mean, my hair is still black. I'm still, I'm not blonde. I don't have blue eyes. I never really wanted to change my appearance to be a white person, anyways. I don't wear blue contacts or anything like that. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud to be Cambodian. That's who I am. But that's the topic that we're going to be discussing today. And I'm going to read a article from Adam B. Coleman. Adam Coleman is an author and the founder of the Wrong Speak Publishing. Adam was born in Detroit but raised in a variety of states throughout America. He writes openly about his personal struggle with fatherlessness, homelessness, and masculinity. He always questioning the world around him, even if they're uncomfortable questions to ask. He strongly believes that we should all have the ability to speak freely, and now advocating for people who feel voiceless to be heard. And this is the article that I'm going to read from him from Scoon TV. It's going to be the point that I'm trying to make. So I'm going to show you guys a YouTuber named Gothix. Gothix made a pretty good point, and if you guys don't know who she is a YouTuber. She's a black YouTuber. And she said, whenever someone says you betrayed your own race, I usually respond by saying I can't betray the group that I never pledged allegiance to in the first place. Skin color tells me nothing about someone's values, ambitions, talent, or personality, so what? So, what she's talking about is people on the left. This is people on the left that has, you know, pre, I guess, stereotypes about black people or Asian people. We have stereotypes about the Cambodians, especially with the Cambodian genocide. They think about things like that. It's just something that a lot of us Americans, of people of color, what we deal with, the assumption about us, the stereotypes about us. And Adam does make a good argument in the article that he writes about, talking about that. And Gothics is pretty much, have to deal with stuff like that because the fact that she's, black and listen to rock music and shit like that. So she doesn't listen to hip hop or anything like that. And with me, for example, I was highly influenced by hip hop growing up. I listened to Tupac, I listened to Biggie, I listened to Bone Thugs and Harmony, I listened to TLC, I listened to Salt and Pepper. I was highly influenced by hip hop. So am I trying to act black? So things like that does get into debates when we were talking about subjects like this, which is really sensitive. And before I even begin this video, make sure to understand that it doesn't necessarily reflect Adam. It doesn't reflect Gothics. It doesn't reflect Ruin Leon or Paris XO or anything like that. It's just the people that I'm using example of, people who are acting out of their race. So if you look at Ruin Leon is another person that I really watch. I like watching on YouTube, and he challenges the narrative of Black Lives Matter and things like that. So is he trying to act out of his race? Look at Paris XO, for example. He's Vietnamese, and he pretty much he made a very good video. I think there's a video that he talks about not being Asian enough, or the Asian culture, or Asian men in particular. And he pretty much deals with the same thing that I deal with. And so we don't look Asian. We don't have our he doesn't look Vietnamese. I don't look Cambodian. So, yeah, I mean, this is what we deal with. This is what, the the insult that we get because we're not acting our race, and people don't understand how fucking racist that is, by the way. But before I even begin that, like I said, my opinion is just my opinion alone. If Even if I start making like Asian stereotypes, like my eyes are not kinky, things like that, that's me and my opinion. It doesn't reflect Adam, okay? It doesn't reflect him at all. It's just me. So I'm going to be reading the article from him from on Scoon TV, and so I'm trying to get myself comfortable because I really don't want to hurt myself. But he said stereotypes exist. Hold on, let me see the topic. Oh yeah, here's the title of the article that I'm going to be read. It's under social issues, and which is true. My knee is really hurting me, guys. Okay. The dangerous social pressure of around acting black. Let me move my microphone real quick. So, by Adam Coleman. Stereotypes exist for a reason. Even if the stereotypes appear offensive, often they're based on something plausible. Many stereotypes reference behaviors within particular cultures, whether it be ethnic or racial, in an attempt to prejudge large variety of groups. So I'm going to be talking about Asians, for example. And remember, guys, I'm only talking about my experience. I don't represent the Asian community. I don't represent the Cambodian community. This is from my experience growing up. This is just my perspective when how I grew up. Okay, so the Asian stereotypes that you see is what they're majority of the time they're like school, rice. They have GIs, right? They have they like a lot of noodles, pho, and all that good stuff. So these are stereotypes, which is offensive at first, but when you really think about it, sometimes stereotypes are true. I mean, I like rice. I like noodles. I think the most offensive the most offensive stereotype that I know is that I can't fucking drive, and that every time I drive, I hit people along the way. Okay, that's stereotypes. That's funny. Okay, it's funny, but sometimes it's really offensive to people, to other Asians. But I mean, that it's something that that can be true. Okay, now I'm putting my knees up here, guys. Okay, but anyways, it's stereotypes that we have about other races. I mean, my husband is white. The first thought that I think about him is that he's very patriotic. He wears, he's like a hardcore Trump supporter, or he likes chewing tobacco, things like that. These are stereotypes that's pretty common in our society that we just do. We don't do it to be fucking racist or anything like that. We do it because it's just our natural human behavior that we do, characteristics that we have. You know what I mean? But anyways, prejudgment in itself isn't immoral. In many ways, it can ensure your safety or help approach people who differ from yourself. There are reasonable prejudgments we will make every single day in a matter of seconds. Yes, this action is natural. However, expectation of the prejudgments are where the problem lies. When you expect your preconceived notion to be true rather than accepting what is in front of you as reality, then you're imposing your beliefs onto other people. So could be made, and like I said, I'm not trying to be offensive or anything like that. So when you come across a Jewish person, for example, the first thought you come to your head is that they're conspiracy theory. They run all these institutions, stuff. They're trying to bring everybody down, instead of just looking at the person as just a Jewish person. Shit like that. I think that's what the argument that Adam's trying to make. I'm not really sure. That's not what I'm think he's saying, but it's not, like come across an Asian person, for example. Every time you come to if your driver was an Uber driver and he's Asian, you're like, oh shit, is he gonna crash the shit? Stuff like that. Okay, where sometimes it can get a little too far. Okay, so when prejudgment blends into reality of any personal interaction, social imbalance is born. The social imbalance is when we try to turn reality into prejudgment so we can lazily look at the world as simple rather than complex. The notion of acting black attempts to redefine black reality as being the black prejudgment. We are consistently told that race is a social construct, yet simultaneously told to act in a manner that upholds this manufactured social system. A fucking man, Adam. I'm sorry for cussing. Amen. That's the argument that I like right there. Boom. That's the point that he's trying to make. It's that majority of the leftists, especially the Democrats, like they have this preconceived notion that black people can't do anything. Black people can't get voter IDs. Black people can't do this and stuff like that. Black people's always poor. I don't have that image in my brain when I'm talking about to a black person at all. The first thing when I come across a black person is, hey, what's your name? And I look at you as an individual. But the Democratic Party, the left, for example, here in the United States of America, they have a preconceived judgment of black people. And so he's going to go on. Adam's going to go on. He said, blacks are told to behave in a manner that appeases others as if blacks are agentless slaves. Even worse, blacks hold each other to the same inadequate standard of thinking. What we don't examine enough in the term acting black is the word acting, meaning pretending to be something you're not. Amen. That's another point that I like. Ding. If I'm to act black, then I'm behaving how I'm supposed to behave rather than how I want to. Boom. Good argument right there. I love that. I have no doubt there are people who enjoy living in a manner they feel authentically black. However, it's the social pressure to exclude those who think otherwise that I take issue with. You see this among black conservatives, black Republicans. We have a Supreme Court justice who is black. You have Condoleezza Rice, for example, who's black, who lean right. But every time you come across a black person who is leaning right, they get excluded out of the conversation because they don't think like us. They're not black like us. And that's the problem that me and Adam have. I hate that shit. You hear, I really don't want to say the word. And like I said, it's just out of respect. Like I hear black people who are right wing, they get called trying to act white. They get called acting like Uncle Tom, for example. If you guys don't watch the Boondocks, it's an animation that consists of black characters, and there's an Uncle Tom. There's Tom. There's a character named Tom. They come across as people like that, and so you hear them say offensive things like calling them coons, for example, and I'm like, is that not, that's so wrong. And so when a person's thinking differently from their group here in the United States of America, which we're really free because America, fuck yeah, freedom, they get excluded from the conversation because they're not black enough. Okay, let's be real here. And no matter where I go in America, my thoughts, behavior, speech, clothing, attitude, and who I vote for are all subject to scrutiny based on my complexion. Joe Biden even knows that any black person who votes against him makes them unauthentic. Or as Joe puts it, it ain't black. Very offensive comment, by the way. Who determines what it means to be black? As far as I can tell, this social construct of blackness is unregulated and holds no constitution. Yet, we're supposed to uphold these invisible standards. Everyone knows what being black means, yet no one can define it, and that's the point. Acting black is not meant to be concise in its tenets. It's meant to be confusing. When you're confused with how to approach life, this imaginary standards of racial homogeneity becomes a potential guide. It's no wonder some of our children believe dysfunction and suffering are markers of blackness. No one tell them otherwise. I think the point that he's making here is that the problem that he has. Coleman did post a very good tweet. Let me see if I can find it. He posted a very good tweet on his Facebook. Here it is. He said, The fact that most discussion about race in America tend to go back to pre-1965 is a great indicator that there has been major progress. It is why our standards of racism have turned to invisible system and insinuation than over and probable action. We should be proud of this. And it's true. I mean, it's just like we're. I really want to share the story about a child in one of my son's class, and he's autistic like my son, but he's half black and half white. This is in February of this year, and this is during the Black History Month. And it was my son and him, and the poor boy. He said that his mother told him that, and this is his parents teaching him these things. She said that he said that the little boy said, "I'm gonna get shot before I even become a grown up." And I was kind of shocked that I heard that, because the fact that his mother is teaching him these things, and which is true. I mean, it's no wonder some of our children, he's talking about black children, believe dysfunction and suffering are markers of blackness. No one tells them otherwise. And it's true. And I have made this argument over and over against SJWs and stuff like that. And every time I get accused of forgetting what happened in the 60s, what happened against blacks and slaveries and stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is that, just like the argument that Coleman is saying, is that, you know, their view of blacks today is what happened in the past. It's like they're stuck on this image. And black people have done so much for our society, for American society. They have contributed so much. They're entertainers, musicians, politicians, writers. They have done so much. I'm influenced by hip hop, which was founded by blacks, by the black community. And so that's what the American left. You know, that's their notion. It's kind of racist in a way if you really think about it. So, anyways, no one explains to them that some of the most influential black people display the worst behaviors. More so, repeating such behavior doesn't make you black, it makes you immoral. More so, no one tells them that many of these immoral behaviors are just another act displayed in front of a camera because they rather profit off of your confusion. Those that accept everything deny nothing. Likewise, belief systems that accept any concept lack the discretion to discard bad ideas. Modern day racism doesn't show up in a white hood or on horseback or tells you which water fountain you can drink from. Modern day racism show up as lower expectation, excuses for bad behavior, and negative social traits that some black people promote as being black social traits. So, Ruin Leon I'm talking about this guy right here, this YouTuber. He did talk about that. He did talk about black people need to stop making excuses for people's bad behavior that are black. Does that make sense? Hope that comes off. Let me try to find the video that I'm talking about. So he made the same argument that Coleman is using, and there it is. Not robbery. I don't have the video, but Ruin Leon does make a good argument against that. He said that, you know, we should stop making excuses for bad behavior that's committed by blacks, because the fact that you have the preconceived notion that they are victims. Does that make sense? So that's the argument that Coleman is using as well. That is saying as well. Let me see where I was at. Okay. Racism is defined as one believing in superior to other based upon race. But in order for there to be a superior, the other must remain inferior. The adaptation of negative social traits allow for the possible notion that there is a superior race. It gives credence to the idea that black determination has been carved in stone rather than pencil on a piece of paper. To many, they believe acting black means to act in an inferior fashion. Most likely, people believe black people saviors are the people in control or the people they deem superior. This mentality has no particular color or barrier. Amen. Amen for that. No, clap. So, I don't know if you guys remember, there was an organization where black people go or people of color go to white people and ask them to explain their privilege. I remember what it was, but it's so fucking offensive because as a black person you can't defend yourself, so you need a white savior, a white Superman or Super Karen to save you. you know, you're acting inferior, and that's fucking offensive if you really think about it. It's racist in a way, you know. Well, it is racist, not in a way. It's racist. It's completely racist because what you're doing is that you feel like you're inferior, that you need to go to a white person to explain what you feel. You know what I mean? I forgot what the group call is called, but it's a group of fucking white Karens, women, by the way, white Karens, who will they get. It's so ridiculous. They get they have like people of color coming to them and it's like, would you use your white skin to explain our oppression and that you shouldn't question us because we're black? So could you tell another white person to not question us at all? You know, shit like that. Okay, so more so, the results of such belief reinforce a troubling theory. The measurement of black success is relative to the graciousness of white people. Exactly, that's the argument that I was making earlier about those white Karens. This mindset creates an unforgiving duality: the victim and the savior, the victim and the savior. So, very good article, and I really like Adam B. Coleman's argument in that article, and make sure you guys follow him, guys. Okay, especially on Facebook. Just look up Adam B. Coleman and follow him. He makes a very good argument against for the black community. And I hate saying black community because of the fact that I don't think so. I always view black people as individuals. Yeah, I get it. You know, just like, you know, when you come across an Asian person, for example, when you come across me, you don't. I mean, you know, I'm Asian, but my characteristics, my values, and stuff like that, my belief system, my political affiliation, you don't know that until you ask me. And so you see this among the Asian community as well. I mean, Kenny Zhu, excuse me, Kenny Zhu, he said that the Asians were an inconvenient minority. Excuse me, and it's true. I mean, it's just that Asians are, you know, Asians is different. We're not all the same. You're talking about Japanese, you're talking about the Chinese, you're talking about the Cambodians, Filipinos, Thais, Vietnamese, and stuff. We're all different, and so I mean, it makes me sad that you would think that the Republicans, I mean, when I was growing up, it was the Republicans that was fucking racist. The conservative was racist. They didn't want your kind around you. But in reality, it's the Democratic Party today that's racist because they have this idea that people of color are too fucking stupid to do anything themselves, and they need the white people's hand to help them. And so it's unfortunate. I mean, when you think about it, and I left the Democratic Party a long time ago. I want nothing to do with them. I'm more kind of leaning towards libertarian. I think that's the American term for it. Almost anarchic, almost being a anarchist at some point in my life. But it's sad, isn't it? You know, when and I feel bad for the black community, especially blacks like, you know, Gothics, black people like Adam and Ruin Leon and stuff like that. Even Asians like Brie Exo, for example. You know, this is the things that we deal with, and just like the argument that I made earlier, I get it. I get you have, you know, people trying to be Asian, people trying to be black, but you know, us. And I'm talking about all of us, the people that the names that I mentioned. You know, we're actually being ourselves. And of course, you're gonna say to us, you're gonna throw insult at us that, oh, you're not trying to be a race and stuff like that. Well, that's fucking racist if you think that way, because Asians are everywhere. Black people are everywhere. You have black people in the UK. You have black people in Ireland. You have black people living in China, in Japan, and stuff like that. Are they acting Chinese? Are they acting Japanese? You know, shit like that. And this is a complex topic. I'm not. This is just my shitty comedic take of it. Okay. But you know, it's just it made me think about the shooting that happened in Atlanta, Georgia, with the spa. And the first thought that they had about white people was that he was fucking racist. So there's this racist notion that all white people are racist. Did you guys see what I'm talking about? How fucked up it is? How this entire thing, it doesn't make any sense. There's no sense making anymore. Everything's just it's all over the place. And you can blame it on postmodernism and stuff like that, where it doesn't make any sense. But with the shooting in the spa, I said, I made the argument that I was the first, not the first person to say it, but I was among my circle, and I pissed off a lot of Asian people. I said that it was not a racist, his objective was not racism. He didn't hate Asian people. The thing is, he wanted to kind of get rid of his sin, and that was sex addiction. So he would go to this spa that are run by Koreans. And I said, well, these spas are well known for prostitution. And I pissed off a lot of my Asian friends. And they're like, oh, what are you trying to say? That we're all prostitutes? Every time we were like, we massage your feet, we want to fuck you, and happy endings. That's not what I'm trying to say. But stereotypically, it's like these places have happy endings. What do you think it means? You know what I mean? Like, I haven't been abroad. I never receive a happy ending. I don't think is there some available for women? But anyways, my point is that these stereotypes, it makes sense in a way, but at the same time, don't take it too far. If you're a dude, don't go to a spa or a massage parlor and be like, can I have a happy ending? You're gonna get fucking slapped, okay? So don't take it too far. So I really hope you guys understood the argument that I'm making. And like I said, my little racist rants against Asians and stuff like that does not necessarily reflect Adam or anything like that, but it's just an open conversation that I think is necessary among not only the black community, but also the Asian community as well, because I get told that I don't act Asian enough. What do you want me to do? Fucking buy bags of rice and swim in it? You know what I mean? It's like, do I have to, like, eat a lot of noodles and shit, and also I'm gonna fucking morph into, like, a hentai Asian person? I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm ridiculous today. But anyways, I really hope you guys enjoy this video. So make sure you guys hit the like button. And I do have a podcast called the Fart Wisdom Podcast. You can find all my information at fartwisdom.podbean.com. All my latest episodes on there. And you guys can support my Patreon, www.patreon.com/boonhim. You guys can send me donation at paypal.me/boonhim, venmo.com. You guys can see it on here. And make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, motherfuckers. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this little kind of entertainment that I have. But hit that subscribe button. Okay, hit that like button. It really helps to have my content in the algorithm. Okay, even I don't even fit the stereotypical Asian. I'm not fucking submissive. Okay, I'm not submissive. I don't I don't giggle. Well, sometimes. Okay, sometimes. But as you guys can see, I'm very aggressive. I'm very blunt. I'm very direct. I'm not feminine. I'm not. It's not that I don't like being a girl. Okay, it's just that I'm very masculine female. And so, all my life I just get told I'm a fucking Twinkie or I'm a tomboy and stuff like that, and it happens. But the thing is that, hey, I'm who I am, and I'm me, and that's what I'm trying to do. At least I'm not trying to be white or any other race or trying to be black, even though I'm highly influenced by hip hop. But I'm who I am, and this goes for Adam, this goes for Gothics, this goes for Leon, Pari, EXO. We're who we are. We don't try to be anybody that we don't want to be. We accept us. We accept our race. We accept who we are, and we love ourselves. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button. As always, guys, stay far out.